I think we're live. Let me pull this up on my phone. I see Aaron Vogler. Is that you, my man? If it is, let me know if you can hear me. And let's get ready to get into this ASAP. I want to get into this quick. I got a lot of things I want to cover today. So Aaron, I know that's you. It always is. If it is, let me know. Can you hear me? Looks like there's a couple more people hopping on. How is the audio? Thank you for the happy birthday wishes, my man. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? That's the real question. My internet's looking like it's cutting out a little bit. Let me try to get rid of a couple of things here. Hold on. A lot of windows open. I don't know if this is affecting it, but let me get rid of some of this stuff. Hold on. Let me get rid of this and that. Being here, I don't know, my internet, it keeps spinning. I hope you guys can hear me. Shoot, I don't know. How am I cutting out? Am I cutting in and out? Can you guys hear me? Kurt says all good here. Maybe it's just on my end. But it keeps pausing. It's starting to chop up a bit. I wonder if I'm going to need to change shit. Let me leave it like that for just a second. I have two different Wi-Fi routers. I can change it to the other one, but I'm afraid if I switch it, it's going to kick me off and I'm going to have to relaunch this live. So how's it now? Is it okay? It's a bit choppy. Now it's choppy. Son of a bitch. Okay. We're going to just go for a second here. Let me know if it keeps being choppy. It could just be a little weird thing. Ironically, I probably had better service, better internet, better Wi-Fi on the cruise ship, but that is what it is. How about now? Is it decent now? Can you guys hear me now? Or is it still chopping? Because it looks like it's pretty decent on mine. A little bit choppy. Son of a bitch. Okay. Okay, we're going to go for just a second. And then after I get through a couple things, I am going to, I may switch the Wi-Fi, but it looks like it's getting a little bit better. Keep me updated, guys. If it's still choppy, let me know. If it's starting to get better, let me know. I'm not seeing it spin as much. It says it's good now. I think we're just going to have to run it, guys. If we can do it on a cruise ship, we can do it now. Okay, so we got Kurt Thomas. What's going on, Kurt? We got Aaron Vogler, of course, my man. We got Pat Jagger on there. We got M says, let's go. Sat in a pub with a pint. Amazing. M says, first deal down. I love hearing about deals. Guys, let me push record on my Zoom and let's freaking do this thing. Hold on 1 second. Beautiful. Okay, guys, welcome to the call. Welcome to Makin Hay with Dre, episode 16. I'm excited to be back in the pocket. Last week, I was on a cruise ship, which was kind of fun because I was able to live out the dream that I had in 2016. I know it sounds a little corny, like I'm living out my dream, but in 2016, I couldn't even fathom the idea of being able to be on a cruise ship or anywhere for that matter, and sailing around the Gulf of Mexico and in Honduras and all these different places and making money while I was on a cruise ship. That would have blown my mind. It sounded like a pipe dream. The first program that I bought, the gentleman that I talked to was like, hey, what are you looking to get out of this? And I'm like, obviously money, obviously, passive income, all these things, but mainly I want freedom. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. If I wake up and I don't feel like working, I don't want to have to work, even though I will. And I said this last week, if you weren't on the call, and that's great. You need to go check out that live. I'm literally doing it from a cruise ship, a little bit choppy, but we made it work. I said this like last week was me realizing I actually have made it. I've actually achieved the very thing that I set out to do when I started into digital real estate, was to have the freedom, to have the ability to do this business from anywhere And last week, I was like, dude, I'm doing it. I'm on a cruise ship. And then 3 days before that, I was in Disneyland. And 4 weeks ago, I was in Africa. Like, I'm actually doing it. And I've been doing it for a couple of years, but it just never really clicked that I've achieved it. So if you guys didn't check out that live, I would definitely go check it out. Had an amazing trip. However, I will say this, between working out on the ship, which if you guys have ever been on a cruise ship, you are literally lifting weights and the ship is kind of like bouncing around. So between lifting weights on the ship, we did some zip line thing in Honduras, and then we rode these e-bikes in Mexico, and I was bent over the whole day, like forward. And then I got some just kind of haphazard massage on the beach. I have tweaked my back very badly, and I'm walking around like I'm 75 years old. So good news is I've got a chiropractor appointment that I do every 2 weeks. It's tonight at 5:45. So we should be chilling. By about Wednesday, I should be better. Bad news is I got a pillow sitting behind my back, giving me a little bit of support. I just took some ibuprofen. So if I look a little bit uncomfortable, it's because I am. But you know what? Sometimes that's the price you pay to go and have a blast. So let me just make sure the Wi-Fi is still working. Let me see who's on here. Wesley Ford says, Nick, you need a wrestling championship belt to go with that robe. Oh, well, all we're wearing the crown. 1000%, dude. I'll see if I can work on that. Let's jump into this, guys. I want to get right into this call. I don't want to spend a ton of time. I do want to say something. Last night, I created this YouTube video, and it was I talked about how to charge a customer. How once you get a deal, once you ask for the money, once you ask for the credit card, what do you do next? What payment processor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I went to create this video, and at the beginning of the video, even though the video was talking about, payment processing and how to collect payment, I shared something at the beginning, and I want to talk about that really quick. And what I shared is I did not feel like doing a YouTube video last night. It was like 9:30, 9:45 p.m. I'd been gone for a week. We had to fly out of Vegas because I live in a small city. The airport doesn't go anywhere. So we had to drive to Vegas. So we got home late. I've been gone all week. You know how it is. You get on a plane, you don't sleep well. I didn't sleep much this week. It's just, we're on a cruise, you're having fun. I did not feel like getting home, getting my kids to bed, and creating a YouTube video. Like, that is the last thing. I had zero energy. I wanted to go and heat up my hot tub or get in my bath and just read a book or watch TV. That's what I felt like doing. Okay. And trust me, I am human just like you. If you're watching this, I have the same emotions you do. I feel lazy some days. I feel, I don't have energy some days. All the things. I'm pissed off some days. I did not feel like creating a YouTube video last night. That's the last thing on my plate. And I was like, I got to make this YouTube video. Like, I got to bring some energy. I got to bring some excitement. And I'll tell you this, not once did it cross my mind to not do it. I will say that because I've been doing it so long, it has become a standard for me. Just like going to the gym, just like asking somebody every single day to spend money with me, whether I'm on a cruise, whether I am traveling, whether I'm sick. My company, we ask people to spend money with us every single day. That has become a standard. And the next standard that I instituted last March, we're coming up on a year now, is I'm going to put out a piece of content on YouTube. In fact, 2 of them, one short, one regular, 5 to 10 minutes, sometimes longer, every single day. And there are days, trust me, that I don't feel like doing it. There are days when it is the last thing that I want to do. There are days when I have no energy, or I got kicked in the teeth because I lost a client, or because I had a bunch of people being dicks, or I feel like my whole business is falling apart, because that's just how business is. But last night, it wasn't even an option. I came up, I sat down, and I told my wife, I'm like, I haven't even unpacked. I know we should be chilling. I got to go make this YouTube video because I ain't missing. Okay. And there are days, sometimes you'll see that I don't have one posted. It's because I can't get it to upload. Like last week, I had it created. I couldn't get it to upload from the ship's Wi-Fi. But I create a YouTube video every single day of my life. It's just a standard. And I want to say this because there is a very simple formula for achieving anything. Okay. And I talked about this on the video. I'm going to reiterate. Number one, get clear on what you want. What do you want? How much money do you want to make? You want to make $50,000 a month? Do you want to make $20,000 a month? Do you want to make $10,000 a month? You want to make $1 million a month? Get very specific. By what date? Set your constraints. I want to do that. I want to make $1 million a month, and I don't want to have to be tied to an area. I don't want to have to work more than 20 hours a week. I want to do it with a team of less than 5 people. Set your constraints. Get very clear and specific about what and what you don't want. Step 1. Step 2. Create a roadmap of how to get there. So you figured out the destination. This is what the destination is. Now we got to get a map. We need a map. What is the quickest way to get from Las Vegas, Nevada to Los Angeles, California? There's a lot of ways to get there. You could go all the way down to Texas. You go down to whatever and cut across. You could go all the way up to Canada and across. There's a million ways to get to Los Angeles from Las Vegas, but there's one way that's the quickest. Create a roadmap of how you're going to get to the goal. That's step 2. Step 3. This is the key. Do what needs to be done based on the map when it needs to be done. That's the key, regardless of how you feel. For me, getting to my goals, getting to the things that I want to achieve, the income I want to get to, the places, the things I want to do, the house I want to live in, the experiences I want to have, the things I want to do in this world before I die, I have specific things I have to do at specific times. And one of those things is creating a YouTube video every single day, whether I feel like it or not. And I'm just here to tell you guys, this is a perfect example. Last night, I was like, shit, man, that's the last thing I want to do is go create a YouTube video. But you know what I did is I said, you know what? I should go unpack. I should go wash my clothes. I should go take a shower. I should do a lot of things, but I have to do the YouTube video. And so I came up in the office, put the kids down, told my wife, give me a little bit of time, came up here, shot the YouTube video, did my daily planning, boom, boom, boom. And what do you know? Today is off to a hell of a start because I did the things that needed to be done when they needed to be done, even though I didn't feel like it. So the next time you wake up on a Tuesday and you have that little slot that says cold call 5 business owners and you don't feel like it, just know you're part of the club. Not all we don't always feel like doing the things that we need to do. Even after we've been doing that, I've been doing a YouTube video a day since March, y'all, since March. And I will continue to do a YouTube video a day forever. Okay. So just count on that. For those of you that are on this channel, new to this channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Wood. I am the king of digital real estate. Excuse me. And on this channel, we talk about digital real estate. Picking simple niches like tree service, like concrete, right? Like spray foam installation, like duct cleaning. Picking cities where there's lots of people searching for these services and there's not a lot of competition. Building simple websites, very simple and sometimes disgusting, basic websites that you would never dare show anyone at a party. Websites that you're not going to win an award for design. Basic websites. Getting phone calls to come from those websites because we do SEO on those websites, which stands for search engine optimization. Taking those phone calls and selling them to a local business owner, doing a deal, doing a transaction saying, I will give you these phone calls every month in exchange for X amount of dollars. And for me, it's never less than $1,000 a month. At this point, it's never less than $1,500 a month. My goal is to be at $2,000 a month per client minimum. But when you start, sometimes you do smaller deals. That is the business model. So if you're brand new to this channel and you're like, what is digital real estate? What is DRE? What is DRE? No, we're not talking about Dr. Dre. We are talking about DRE, digital real estate, the greatest business model on the planet. And welcome to this show, which is called Makin Hay with Dre, because there is a window of time for all good things. There was a window of time when Bitcoin was $100 a Bitcoin. And now, even though it's really taken a shit in the toilet and it's down to, I don't even know what it is, and it was way higher, 3 times higher a year ago or whatever, it's still 20x or 200x what it was 10 years ago or 8 years ago or 6 years ago. And although I think this business model is here to stay and it is never going to get saturated because there's so many small business owners, there's so many local niches, I do believe there are certain windows of time when things are better, when there's opportunities to land grab as much as possible in that opportunity. If you go back to when John D. Rockefeller was tackling the oil industry, there was a time when he was land grabbing. He was dominating the market, and then competitors came, and then there was more people, and then it became easier to start a business. And he was able to squash all those businesses, but there was a time when he grabbed as much business as possible. And I'm telling you guys, we are in that window of time right now. We don't know how long that window's open. And the saying, making hay while the sun shines, is what we're playing on here. And there is a window of time when you're a farmer, when you have to put up hay. It doesn't matter what event you have. It doesn't matter what vacation you have planned. If it's time to make hay, you either make the hay and provide for your family and your livelihood, or you don't. And everything else takes a back seat. That is why we call the show Makin Hay. So my friends, that is why we called it. That is why we talk about all things digital real estate and why I call this show Makin Hay. So welcome to the show. I got a fun one today. Let me see if the internet is getting choppy. Shit almighty, it is getting a little choppy. Are you guys hearing me, or am I cutting out, guys? Can you guys hear me? Son of a bitch. Okay, it looks like it's like in and out, but I think we're just going to cut the run it because I don't want to cut the stream. We got Pat on the stream. We got Shane Terrell. He said, by the way, Shane, what's up, dog? Shane says, of all the things I learned from Nick, creating a map and implementing it is probably what made the biggest difference in my life business. For those of you that don't know, Shane Terrell was a carpet cleaning. He owned a carpet cleaning company here locally where I was at. I met him by trying to sell him leads. A year ago, he jumped into my program, Digital Landlords, and he is now doing close to $10,000 per month as a digital landlord, as somebody who sells leads. And he's completely changed his life. He's going to the top, man. So Shane, thank you for the shout out, dude. Watch out for this guy. If you guys haven't seen his interview, go check it out. Any of you guys that have small businesses, any of you guys that are doing manual labor jobs, they're like, dude, there's more out there than this. Go watch that interview. You'll really relate to it, but I appreciate it, Shane. Mike Tyson, or M says, Mike Tyson, discipline is what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it. I love that quote. Max says he can hear me. Everyone says I'm good. Let's freaking rock and roll, guys. All right. Let's do this. Let me get a little sip of my water first. Oh, that's good water. Not as good as Fiji, but it'll work. The Essentia. And then a little sip of the old Monst. Nothing like a nice Zero Ultra Monst. I'm counting down the days to when I have my own energy drink and I'm promoting the actual shit out of it. Right now, I don't have an affiliate link. Right now, I'm not sponsored. Don't worry. Somebody legitimately asked me that the other day. They're like, dude, are you sponsored by Monster? I'm like, I wish. But for now, I just love these things and they just really slap. So guys, I got a question for you. I want this part to be a little bit interactive. This is not a rhetorical question. I want to know what your answer to this question is, okay? And the question is this. This is how we're going to start this call. If you woke up tomorrow and all your bills were paid, your house payment or your apartment was paid for, your car payment was paid for, all your food was paid for, all your potential vacations were paid for, if everything was covered, there was no bills, nothing to worry about as far as money goes, what would you do tomorrow? What would you spend your time doing tomorrow if money was not an issue? Okay, I want to know the answer to that question. I'm going to wait. I want to see what you guys would do. What would you spend your time doing tomorrow if money was not an issue? And I'm not digging. There's no answer that's wrong. If you're a degenerate and you put, I'd go and, get trashed every single day and go clubbing, I don't care. I just want to know, what would you do tomorrow if your bills were paid for, if everything was taken care of? How would you spend your day tomorrow? Okay. Aaron Vogler says he would golf. Great. What else? I love it. I love the honesty. What else? What else would you guys do? I don't care what the answer is. Have you guys thought about this? What would you spend your time doing tomorrow if all your bills are paid for and you didn't have to work? What would you do? Yemi says, planning trips to travel to places on my list. I love it. I love it. Yemi, I'd be curious. What's the number one place on your list? Okay. Mona says, find ways to make more money. More money. I love that song by Drake. Says, more money, more problems. Bring on the problems. More money, more problems. Bring on the problems. Mona says, find ways to make more money. Kurt says, travel in a Super C motorhome. Pat says, take my daughter to the zoo, then my wife to the best Indian restaurant. Max is being honest. Says, hookers and cocaine. Let's go. A trip to Thailand, Pat says. Hidden knowledge says, create more assets. What else? There's 20 plus people on this call. What else? Yemi says, number one is Cape Town, South Africa. Amazing. I've never been to Cape Town, but I would love to go. What else would you guys want to do, guys? Number two is Maldives. Travel, golf, spend time with family, hookers and blow. What else? Is there anything else you guys would spend your time doing? M says, write down memories and stories with my grandfather to pass down our cord. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. That's really cool, actually. I've actually had that thought. I thought it would be one thing I think would be really, really cool is going to your dad or to your grandfather and we all have those grandparents that have passed away. But don't you wish that you had gone to them and said, hey, grandpa, I want to interview you twice a week, 3 times a week, and I want to write a book. And no one needs to read it. We don't need to publish it, but I want to write a book about your life and about the things, the lessons that you learned that we could pass on to everyone. Wouldn't that be dope? I wish I had done that. Okay, cool. We got a couple answers. Aaron says, see a dude in St. George. So guys, I've thought about this a lot, man. I've read, if you guys haven't read, there's a book. I don't think I have it out right here. There's a book called The Alchemist, and it's a phenomenal book. And I read this book a couple of years ago, and it kind of talks about this, like doing what you love type of a thing. Okay. So whatever it is, if the answer that you gave is a sincere answer and you've actually given it thought, then the answer that you just gave, that's the thing that you're passionate about. If you would truly wake up tomorrow, Aaron Vogler, and you didn't have your bills are taken care of, you didn't have to make money, you didn't have to do anything, and you would spend your time golfing, that's your passion. That's the thing that you love to do. So that's a really easy way. If people are like, what's your passion? What's your passion? Just think, if you didn't have to work, what would you spend your time doing? Yemi, traveling is your passion. That's very simple. Okay. So that is your passion. So here's my next question I would ask you guys. Now, this one is going to be rhetorical. Okay. By the way, Hidden Knowledge says, I want to buy land in Ghana. I love it. I love Ghana. Ghana is a dope country. Buy some resort rental land in Bali. I love it. Okay. Here's a rhetorical question that goes along with this one. Okay. By the way, you know what I forgot to do? And I'm going to do this right now. Give me a second, guys. I completely spaced this. Here's the next question I have for you, but this is going to take me 13 seconds and we will be good. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to go over to Facebook. I'm going to go over to the free group, which I always do this. And I apparently am just having a hell of a morning this morning, I guess. Let me go ahead and find this picture really quick. I'm going to post this in the Facebook group. And what I'm just going to let people know that we're on this call right now. Let me just post it with the same picture. 2 seconds here, guys. This is going to get us a bunch more people on the stream. This is a really fun topic. I really, really am passionate about what I'm going to talk about today. So guys, we are just getting warmed up. Don't you worry. I got a lot of thoughts. I got a lot of things I want to share on this topic. I'm pumped. I just got to find this damn picture. Okay, hold on 1 second here. And I know exactly where we're at. I'm not going to forget. Let's see. I had this really cool picture of me with some of my friends in Sierra Leone. Right there. Boom. Okay, there it is. Right there. Boom. And boom. Okay. Going, I'll just say live right now. Boom, boom, boom. Live right now. Live as we speak. Totally spaced this. Okay. Let me drop in my YouTube link. And let's freaking finish this bad boy up. Go like this, discard that, go to my channel, boom, boom, and share the channel, copy link, drop the channel in, paste, post, and we are 3, 2, 1, we're good. Okay, guys, second part of this question, let me make sure I'm still live. We are still live. Second part of this question, and this is where we're going to get a little deep here. It's where we're going to get a little bit introspective here. Whatever it was that you just put, whether it's golf, whether it's travel, whatever, here's the actual soul-piercing question. If you spent your entire life doing whatever it was you said you would do tomorrow, okay? If you spent your entire life doing that thing, would you be satisfied with the life that you lived on your deathbed? Okay, dramatic pause on purpose. If you spent your entire life doing the thing that you just said that you would do, if you didn't have to worry about money, would you, on your deathbed, when you're taking your final breaths and you're in that hospital bed, I hope I'm not in the hospital bed, I hope I'm in a jungle in West Africa and I got jumped by some cannibals or went down in a plane crash because I'm in the bush, or I don't know, something dope, right? I hope it's something cool, but maybe I'm sitting there in the jungle and I'm like, dude, I'm done. I'm out. But however you envision your last breaths, if you've never thought about it, that's fine too. But when you're taking those last breaths, if you spent your entire life doing the thing that you just told me you would do, would you feel satisfied with that life? Would you look back and go, I'm proud of that life. I lived a life worth living. Okay. That's a rhetorical question. I don't need you to answer it. And maybe you would. Maybe you would. And if you wouldn't, it's okay. Some of you guys are young. Some of you guys haven't given this a lot of thought. But guys, I want to talk about, there's this huge conversation that goes around this thing of happiness. I want to be happy. This just makes me happy. Do what makes you happy. Be happy. Like there's all these things, this conversation around being happy. And I would argue that happiness isn't what we're actually chasing. Okay. Like, have you ever defined happiness? Have you ever thought about what really is happiness? And I would argue, I would say what we're actually chasing isn't happiness. It's satisfaction. I know for me, I've spent a lot of time. I spent 2 years living in West Africa as a missionary, not getting paid. In fact, we paid, and I'm saying my family, we paid $400 or $500 a month for me. We paid, and I didn't get that much money. Like we paid into the fund. How it works in the church I'm a part of, I'm Mormon. You pay $500 a month. And depending on what part of the world you're living in as a missionary, they give you a certain amount. So I would pay $500, but I wouldn't get $500 a month. I would get $300 per month to live on. I would live on $300 a month. That's my food. That's my transportation. That's my clothing. That's my soap. That's my hygiene. That's all of it. I would get $300 a month. And the way that they do that, so they can subsidize, because some people go and live in London and it costs them like $1,000. I lived on $300 a month of my own money as a volunteer. And I'm saying that because like I've spent a lot of time thinking about happiness, thinking about like what this life's about, like what we're here for, what we're doing on this life. And I've come to realize I ain't chasing happiness, dude. I'm not. Like people are like, oh, money doesn't make you happy. I'm not trying to be happy. I'm not. I'm trying to be satisfied. I'm trying to, when I lay down and die, when I'm taking those last breaths in the jungle and I'm bleeding out, right? Because a freaking chimpanzee just munched my arm and I'm done. And I'm thinking about it. I'm smiling and I'm smirking and I'm grinning and I'm exhausted. This is the phrase that I always use inside my Digital Landlords program. And you guys that are in there will know what I'm talking about. I am spending my life chasing exhausted but satisfied moments. Those moments when you do things that are bigger than yourself, and they're so big and they're so like unbelievable. They're hard to wrap your head around, and you're like, there's no way I can accomplish this. There's no way I can get through this. It's so hard. And you do it. And you have that feeling of satisfaction, those days when it's like, shit, man, I felt so crappy when I woke up this morning. I did not want to cold call. I did not want to do anything. I felt like laying in bed all day and being depressed. And you not only did you do it that day, but you had the best day of the week or the best day of the year. It's those moments. That's what I'm chasing. And I would argue that that's what everyone's chasing. We want to be satisfied, right? And I look at it, and if I look at the moments, I would ask you to do the same. Look at the 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 moments in your life that you wouldn't trade for anything, okay? You wouldn't trade for any amount of money. And you tell me, are they moments of happiness? Oh, I'm so happy. Or are they moments of, I just did something that is so hard to comprehend that I actually did it. I did something that was so unbelievably difficult that I never thought I would be able to finish it or do it or accomplish it, and I did it. I wouldn't sell those for anything. Living 2 years in West Africa, that shit was hard, man. There was a million times I wanted to just call my parents and come home. Knocking door to door for 4 years, waking up every day feeling sick to my stomach because I had to go out and ask strangers for money, and I'm not an extroverted person. That shit was hard, dude. Getting to $1 million, making $1 million in 2020, getting to $100,000 a month, when in 2019 December I wanted to turn away and run away and stop doing this business model because I thought it was bullshit. I don't care what amount of money you offered me, I would not trade those moments for anything, because you know what's cool about those moments is it's kind of like wine, right? They say that the wine gets sweeter with age. You can't take those moments away from me. The money's going to go away, but you can never take away those feelings of satisfaction. And so I look back, and the moments for me that I treasure more than anything are the moments that I've been the most satisfied. And the moments that I've been the most satisfied are the moments when I've done things and I've attached myself to things that are bigger than me, things that are part of a bigger cause, things that are world changing, things that like actually have an impact, right? So what I would ask you guys to do is, if you haven't spent a lot of time, and I asked you the question, I said, what would you do tomorrow if you woke up and you didn't have any, money was an issue? And then I said, would you be satisfied if you spent your whole life doing that thing? If you answered no, I challenge you to spend some time and maybe think, what are some of the other things that would be like the second, third, fourth things that I would spend my time doing, that if I spent my whole life doing those things, they would also check the box. Excuse me. Those things would also check the box of, yes, on my deathbed, I would be satisfied. I would be able to hang my hat on that life and be proud that I spent my time doing that. I would challenge you guys, if you don't know what that thing is, I would challenge you, because you don't, guys, trust me. Now, I hate saying that. Don't trust me, but think about it. Like when you're dying, you don't give a shit about all these moments when you were giggly wiggly and you were happy. I believe happiness is satisfaction, man. Those moments when you're like, I did it. I never thought I would do it. I did it. Or that was something I never thought I'd do and I accomplished it. That's what you're actually chasing. Okay. So my goal in life, as I've started to think about it, and as I've really like dug into myself, is I'm going to spend my entire life collecting these moments of being satisfied, being exhausted because I did something that was so difficult that I never thought I'd be able to do, but that I achieved. Being exhausted but satisfied. That's my whole life. That's what I want to spend the rest of my life doing, and I figured that out. Okay. And so what does that have to do with rank and rent? What does that have to do with digital real estate? What does that have to do with making money online? It has everything to do with it. And I want to share this. A couple weeks ago, I was posting, and I was kind of getting some feelers out. I was posting a few things on Facebook. And guys, if you're not my friend on Facebook, go add me as a friend. I love asking questions that people get uncomfortable asking. It's the comment section of a lot of my posts are really entertaining. But I said something about money, and somebody commented and they said something that kind of came at me a little bit, and they said they basically challenged like my definition of what happiness is or what life's about and all these different things. And this person, they said, and this is something that I really like. This is a person I really respect, and I appreciate this person. But they said, my definition, and it seems like your definition of happiness is living your life and fulfilling your potential, fulfilling what you could become. And I would agree with that. I believe that's, sorry, I don't know what's going on here. I would agree with that. And they said that is their definition of happiness, is being able to fulfill your potential. And I argued with them and I said, I believe, and I will stand by this forever. But guys, in order to fulfill your potential, in order to do that thing that you would wake up tomorrow and do, that is a cause or something that's bigger than yourself, or that's something that truly makes you satisfied, you have to escape the rat race. Or you want to call it the rat race, you want to call it the matrix, you want to call it the freaking grind, you want to call it the hustle, you want to call it the slave to your job. In order for you to live a life worth living, in order for you to live a life worth hanging your hat on, in order for you to live a life that you are satisfied with when you're taking those final breaths. Oh, son of a bitch. Am I still live here? Can you guys still hear me? Something just said I was signed out of my account, but hopefully you guys can still hear me. Hopefully that was just another thing. You guys still hear me? Really quick, let me know. Can you guys still hear me so I can continue to do this? I want to keep going, but I want to make sure. I just got a notification that says I was signed out of my Zoom account. I'm praying that we're still good. We still good? It looks like I'm still live. Are we still good? Somebody give me the thumbs up and I'll keep ripping. Are we still going? I think so. Okay, cool. All right. I just got this weird notification. It's freaked me out. Okay. In order for you to live a life worth living, in order for you to live that life when you're taking your final breaths that you are satisfied with and you're happy with, and you feel like, hey, I just did it. You have to escape. Somebody in the comments just said the treadmill, the slave to your job, the trap, the 9 to 5, the rat race, as Robert Kiyosaki talks about in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, as Andrew Tate talks about the matrix, right? And buy your Bugatti. We have to. That is where you have to start, okay? All these things that we want to do, Yemi, you want to go travel? Great. In order for you to do that, you have to escape the rat race. In order for you to be the best version of yourself, I don't care what that is to you. I don't care if your goal is like one of these guys I really, really respect. His name's Scott Harrison. He has this organization called Charity Water. And they are trying to provide clean drinking water for the entire world. In order to go and do that, you have to escape the rat race. Money cannot be an issue. You need to make sure that money is not an issue, okay? And that is, I don't care what it is. I don't care what you want to do. That is the starting point, period, okay? In my opinion, apparently I have got a frog in my throat. I'm not drinking enough water. But here's what I believe every person, no matter what you want to do, no matter whether you want to go build wells, you want to start a charity, you want to go build schools, you want to make, the greatest company on earth, you want to go solve the world's hunger problems, you want to go do eye surgeries, whether it's charity, whether it's church, whether it's spending time with your family, you have got to escape the rat race. So here is what I would encourage, and not just encourage, but I would argue with anyone that this is the formula that needs to happen for every single person to be quote unquote happy, for every person to be satisfied, for every person to be on the path to living the life that when they're dying, when they're on those last few breaths, they're satisfied with the life they live. Is number one is you need to figure out, what are your bills? How much are your bills? Okay, house payment, car payment, food payment, money to travel. Like, what does it cost you to live your life? That's number one. Number two, you need to go and you need to create passive income by buying and building assets that exceeds those bills, right? If your bills are $5,000 a month, and that's how much it takes to pay for food and pay for electricity and pay for your car and pay for gas and, take the family out for dinner, that's your bills. Okay. And in order for you to escape the matrix, in order for you to escape the rat race, you need to make money passively with assets that exceeds that amount of money. So it's $5,000. You need to have enough assets that are paying you $5,000 a month. Why? Because now step 3, working is optional, and you can do, Yemi, what you said you were going to do tomorrow. Now, yes, you're going to need to make more than that because you want to travel. That costs money. But Aaron, you make $5,000 a month. If that's your bills, you could go spend your rest of your life golfing. You have hacked the game, right? And you are now richer than some of the people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, but that are a slave to their job. Life begins when you escape the rat race. Life begins when you no longer have to work. When working is a choice, when working is optional, when you're working because it's what you love to do and you're doing something that you love. That is when life begins. And for the rest of you that have not achieved that yet, you haven't even experienced life. If you think waking up and going and punching the clock for some shit ass job, for a boss that doesn't care, for a boss that tells you when you could take a shit, when you could go on a trip, how long you can be in the bathroom, what you need to wear to work, what you can and can't say, what your political views need to be, that is not a life. Whether you believe in God or not, or Allah, that is not a life you were put on this earth to live, man. It's not. Life begins when you escape the rat race. And for those of you that have not, what are you waiting for? How much longer are you going to stay stuck in the rat race? How many more years? Today's my birthday. How many more birthdays are you going to let pass before you wake the hell up and realize that if you wait too long, there's going to come a time when you've waited too long and the time is now past. Okay. In order for you to live a life worth hanging your hat on, that when you're taking your final breaths, you are satisfied, you are proud of, you have got to, step 1, escape the rat race. And you know what that means? That means you need to create passive income, and you need to create passive income in excess of the bills that you have. And some of you guys don't have that many bills. Some of you guys, Aaron, are in a position where you can escape the rat race really quickly because you don't have that many bills. You're in a position where you don't have to pay for a lot of things because you're young, or you haven't accumulated debt, or you don't have a wife or a husband to take care of, or you don't have kids to take care of, or you don't have this and that and the rest. And there's not a lot of expectations. You guys are in a perfect spot to get out of the rat race as quickly as possible. And I'm begging you, if you want to really experience life, that needs to be your focus. Step 1, what are your bills? How much does it cost? Step 2, you need to create passive income by building and buying assets that exceed that. And step 3, now you can work. Working is optional. Now you can spend your time working and doing things that you are going to be proud of when you die. When you go on, you're going to be proud of when you're taking those final breaths. Okay. So there's a ton of different ways. And I'm not here to say there's only one way to make passive income, because there's not. There's a lot of different ways, right? You can do it through, I wrote a couple things down. You could go and create, patents. You could go and do that with patents, like inventions, right? You go and make some cool contraption and you get it patented and you make money forever, right? You could do it through making music. You make music, that's an asset, right? And it's going to pay you. It pays you little driblets unless your song really pops off. But that's an asset. You could make movies. Those movies are assets. Those people make money, the royalties on those films and the music for years and years, forever, right? You could create, or you could buy and build real estate. I'm talking about physical real estate, homes, commercial buildings, apartments, you name it. And then there's digital real estate. There's DRE, D-R-E, which is what we are talking about on this channel, which is what I spend every second of every day shouting from the rooftops, shouting from the housetops, because this business model, unlike patents and music and movies and physical real estate, is the fastest, the cheapest, the most sensible way for the average person, the person that's not Lil Baby, the person that's not Drake, the person that's not freaking whatever some of these famous actors are, the person that's not inventing stuff left and right, the person that doesn't have endless capital to go and put into real estate. For the rest of us that have average advantages, we have the same advantages as everybody else, which is nothing, right? We're just like everybody else. This is the business model that is going to allow you to hack that formula, which is build/create assets that pay you passively. This DRE, digital real estate, is the thing. Guys, there is a clear path. The formula I just gave you. How much are your bills? $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $12,000 a month. Cool. How much does one website yield? Well, $1,500 a month. Let's factor in $500 for ads. Let's do a little bit for maintenance. Let's say we're making $900 off the rip. $900. Okay. Let's do some math. Really, really simple. If I want to make $10,000, or let's say 10,000. If I want to go $10,000, and let's say my average site, just to be safe, pays me $750 net in my pocket. We divide that by $750 net. You need 13.3 sites. You need 14. Guys, what if I told you were 14 deals away from beginning life, from 14 deals away from escaping the matrix, escaping the rat race, escaping the treadmill, escaping the punch the clock bullshit of people telling you what to do? 14 deals. That's it. For those of you that are at zero and you need to get to 10,000, and I bet a lot of you don't need to get to that much, you are 14 deals. That's if they're only $750, right? Let's say you go ahead and you get your SEO up and each one's worth 1,000. You're 10 deals away. Let's say you get it even higher, or let's say you do $2,000 a month deals and you're making $1,300 net. Guys, you are closer than you think to escaping the rat race. And I'm telling you, until you escape that rat race, you are not living life. You haven't even experienced it. You don't even know what it's like, because until you wake up and you can decide whether to work or not, you don't even know. Until you can go on a cruise ship and make money, make thousands and thousands of dollars while you're on that cruise ship, and you can get emails like this that freaking make my day. Let me go ahead and go in here and type in Stripe. These are my favorite emails in the world. These are better than any notification I could ever get. Okay, yesterday, here we go. Stripe, your payout of $5,340.26 is on the way to the bank account for blah, 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 blah. February, 3 days before that, a payout of $4,747 is on the way to bank account for. These are all while I'm on the cruise, dog. I have hacked the system, and I'm showing you guys the blueprint of how you can too. And I would ask you this rhetorical question as I'm wrapping up. What if I told you that if you took this business model and you put your head down for 12 months, okay, the next year, from now, February 6th, until next year, 2024, February 5th, if I told you that if you put your head down for 12 months, you could escape the matrix, you could escape the rat race, you could escape the treadmill that we're stuck on, what would you say? Would you believe me? I wouldn't either. Okay. I wouldn't have either. I would have never guessed, because guys, here's the problem. The longer you wait to put this formula into effect, the bigger your bills get. Now you start adding kids. Now you start adding a wife. Now you start adding cars. Now you're starting adding a house. Now all of a sudden you guys have the gym memberships and the vacation rental membership, and or the whatever they're called when you go and you stay at these places. You have all these things, and now escaping, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. And now it's possible, but I waited until I was, let's see, 2020, 3 years ago, I would have been 29. I waited until I was 29, 30 years old. And by that time I had 2 cars, I had a house, I had kids, I had gym memberships, I had debt. It was hard for me to escape. I was in a position where it was like $10, $12, $13, $15,000 to escape the rat race. Okay. Don't wait until you get to that point. And if you're at that point, there's hope. I did it. And I'm showing you exactly how to do it. But guys, it is possible. It is more than possible to escape the freaking rat race in the next 12 months if you guys will put your heads down, go after this business model, clear aside all the bullshit, clear aside all the distractions, and see how many you could build. 14 deals, guys. 13.3 deals. That's barely just over a deal a month. But you do a deal a month, and then the last three months of the year, you do 2 deals. You've just escaped the rat race. That's it. And then guess what? Next year, in 1 year, you can go golf, you can go travel, you could go do whatever it is that you would do if you didn't have to work. That's how close you are. But the problem is nobody wants to put that year in. Nobody wants to put that year in. And I'm telling you guys, if you go and do it, it will be the most satisfying, sweetest experience of your life. It will be happiness. It will be that thing that we're chasing, this elusive thing called happiness. Yes, chasing something very difficult and achieving it and saying, man, I was stuck in the rat race for so long. And I remember the time when I couldn't go on the vacation. I remember the time when I had to order off this side of the menu. I remember the time when we could only go out to eat this many times. And now I'm here. And now I don't even look at the menu. Now I don't even care. I can go shop at whatever stores I want to shop, and I can go on the vacations I want to go on. I can take care of my family. That is satisfaction, guys. And that is what we're chasing. And I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't have believed it was possible to do it in that kind of a time frame unless I had already done it, unless I had seen how fast you can scale this up when you're pre-selling, when you're focusing on getting the deal and using the money, using other people's money to build this out. So I'm here to tell you, as me being an example, I have done it. You can do it too. And my question would be, what's your reason for staying stuck in the rat race? In 12 months, if you're still in the rat race, and I asked you, hey, why didn't you escape it this year? What is more important that you stayed stuck in? Is it your comfort? Is it your security? Is it that you're scared and you value not being scared more than you value escaping? What I'm telling you guys is that be careful that you don't wait too long, okay? Because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to realize you missed it, okay? And that, okay, you talk about happiness, you talk about satisfaction. You want to talk about regret? You want to talk about the thing that I'm more scared of than anything? I'm more scared of having regret than I am of anything in this life. And you always regret the things that you don't do, not the things that you do. Okay. So guys, that's it. Very simple formula. We have a business model. Like a lot of people talk about these kind of topics and they're like, okay, good luck. Go find a business model. Go buy some real estate. Go do this. Go create music. Go buy assets, build assets. It's like, cool. Where do I get money? I'm here to tell you, like, the formula is there. Go and use this business model to go and escape the rat race. And every one of us, let's go and change the world. Let's go do that thing that's going to allow us to be satisfied. It's going to allow us to be on our deathbed and be like, okay, I did it. That's the life I wanted to live. That's a life that people are going to talk about for centuries because I changed XYZ industry, XYZ, whatever village or country or whatever it is that makes you get up in the morning. You can go and you could spend the rest of your life doing it. You're 1 year away from being able to spend the rest of your life doing it. And this is the vehicle that can allow you to get there. And some of you guys are going to get there in a year and go, I don't know what that is. I'm just going to build this as big as I can. And that's okay too. That's okay too. That's in fact great. Keep building it. Keep building. Maybe your thing in life is to make as much money as possible and to inspire others to do the same. It doesn't mean you have to have some crazy, like, whatever cause, but guys, life begins when you escape the rat race. So go get out of it. Okay. The business model's there. All right. What do we got here? What do we got here? Boom, boom, boom. It says I'm live. Okay. I believe the rank and rent is the way out. 100% Yemi. Rank and rent is the way out. Hamster wheel is another good name for it. Spit and fire, man. Thanks, Nick. You did it. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being on, Kurt. Max, if you want to join the mentorship program, can I talk to you on a call before? Max Hastings, DM me on Facebook, and we can chat. But guys, I just want to say I appreciate you being on this call. I know there's a lot going on. I know there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of people talking. There's a lot of people saying that they, do this, do that. I can make you millions of dollars today. You can do no work and whatever. And I'm here to tell you that, like, you're going to have to put in work. This model is simple, but you are going to have to put in work. You are going to have to get uncomfortable. You are going to have to make cold calls. You are going to have to do things that make you a little bit, I don't know if I want to do that. That's okay. That is okay. Because I did for 4 years, I knocked doors, and that was the most uncomfortable thing I'd ever done in my life. More uncomfortable than living in West Africa, more uncomfortable than speaking in front of people. That was the most uncomfortable thing that I did. And it is one of the things that I cherish the most that I've done in my entire life. So guys, I'm here to tell you the business model is simple. The business model can get you whatever it is you're trying to achieve, but it is going to take some work. It is going to take, and you can do it one of two ways. You could go and you can watch all these YouTube videos, and you can go study other people, and you get in our Facebook group, and you can try to piece this together. And you also know we have the blueprint, as Max is talking about. We have the mentorships, he's calling it, which is digital landlords, which outlines this thing A to Z. If you want to shortcut your time and you want to have the exact map, exact blueprint. Either way, I don't care how you do it. It all comes down to how much do you value your time. And that's the route that you take. If you have no value on your time and you just want to piece this thing together, then great, do it. But if you're like, hey, I'm sick of this, I want to get this thing going, I want to be out of this in whatever, like Shane that was on this stream earlier. Shane went from owning a carpet cleaning company to $10,000 a month in revenue in a matter of 4 to 6 months. And now he's going to sell his carpet cleaning company and scale this thing to $1 million. Then he went all in and he did it, and he did it the fast track way. So it's up to you, but I just want to say I appreciate you guys being on this call. I'm going to answer Mona's question really quick. How can we pre-sell if we are a beginner with nothing to show? Wouldn't we have to build the asset first and show the leads coming in just as a beginner, then pre-sell after? No, you don't. You build a one-page website, right? And you run ads to the website. You get a couple leads. You use those leads to ink the deal. You tell the business owner straight up, hey, this is how I'm getting the leads right now, but we will eventually have the organic coming in. But don't worry, we're going to have leads coming in the whole time. You do not have to wait for the website to be built. And by the way, Mona, we talk about in our program, as soon as you get the deal, we talk about how to build a website, how to rank the website, how to get it ranked at the top of Google, because that is an important part of the process. We want to get that website ranked #1 in the maps and in the organic. But I argue that if you're focusing on getting the website built, getting the leads generated first, you're doing it wrong. Why do I say that? Because look at our free Facebook group. That is made up of thousands of people who already know how to build websites, who already know how to generate leads, and they are not making money because they don't know how to sell it. They have not mastered the art of pre-selling. And that, my friends, is why we have that group. Thank you guys for the happy birthday wishes. Go and escape the rat race. That is where life begins. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week. I'm out.